I'm Christine Lisi right now. The Super Bowl champion Buccaneers opting today to tag receiver Chris Godwin on this NFL franchise tag deadline day. The Bears franchising receiver Allen Robinson. Giants franchise D lineman Leonard Williams. Left tackle Cam Robinson tagged by the Jaguars. The Steelers did not tag linebacker Bud Dupree. Tight end Hunter Henry not tagged by the Chargers. Big story of the day. Still, the Cowboys agreeing with quarterback Dak Prescott on a 4-year, $160 million contract. The expectation is that Prescott will deliver a Super Bowl victory for Dallas, but the team not at that level just yet, according to ESPN's Booger McFarland.
Can they win currently as constructed? And the answer is still no, because their defense is not good enough. Now, they've secured the most important position in quarterback for the next 4 years, but Key, if I ask you right now, are the Cowboys the favorite? Forget about the NFC. Are they the favorite in the East? I would still tell you no.
Booger McFarland on Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams, and Zubin Mehenti. Among the first-time finalists being considered for election in 2021 to the Basketball Hall of Fame, Chris Bosh and Paul Pierce.
Dell's semi-annual sale delivers unmatched productivity and play. Right now, save what Dell employees save with 17% off leading XPS and Alienware computers powered by Intel Core processors. Visit Dell.com/semi-annual or call 800-BUY-DELL. That's 800-BUY-DELL.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
Let's ride.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
Hey, the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Ross Dellinger in 15 minutes. If you haven't heard yet, Les Miles out in Kansas. Ross knew him well, and he covered him here at LSU. Continued to remain close to Les on his time at Kansas during Ross's time now with Sports Illustrated. And Ross wrote a column being critical not only of Les Miles, but of even himself for his inability to track down a story that was right under everyone's nose, apparently, for the better part of a decade. So Ross Dellinger in about 15 minutes. Feinswog next hour. Larry Holder's going to join us in hour 3 as well. Larry put out today a mock 53-man roster, which I wanted to delve into, and was wanting to delve into that today, assuming we weren't going to have news with respect to the franchise tag deadline, which came and went 3 minutes ago. The NFL had set 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central on today, March the 9th, as the deadline for teams to exercise its franchise tag. And the Saints, because of their cap situation, were thought not to be a candidate to use the salary cap, or the franchise tag. If you're not familiar with the franchise tag, the quick Cliff's Notes version is, if a player is going to be a free agent, a team can use their franchise tag on that player, preventing them from going into free agency, but you must pay that player the average of the top 5 salaries in the league at that position. So for safety, that's $10.5 million. Considering the Saints are, say it with me, in cap hell, right? There was no way the Saints were going to use the franchise tag because they don't have any money to use the franchise tag. They're trying so hard to get under the salary cap. How could they possibly justify spending $10.5 million adding that onto the salary cap for 2021? But they did it. Saints have officially filed the paperwork on Marcus Williams' franchise tag, which means more cap gymnastics, but Mickey Loomis makes it work. That according to @RapSheet Ian Rappaport on Twitter. To be clear, Ian, it's not Mickey Loomis who makes it work. It's Kai Harley who makes it work and has for many years, as he is the Saints' resident capologist who makes all of the numbers work and gets all of these contracts in order. Part of me is kind of glad that Kai doesn't get the credit nationally that he deserves, because if he did, that might put him on more teams' radar to take him away from the Saints. But my guess is people internally within the league know very well who he is and what he does for the New Orleans Saints. But the Saints have used the franchise tag now on Marcus Williams, and a couple of things, just if we're just talking the financials of this decision, using the franchise tag on Marcus Williams means that the Saints are now, after having done all the work they had done to get into that $44 million range over the cap that we had discussed, this now puts them at about $55.1 million over the cap. So, man, you were heading in the right direction, and then it's like you have all this credit card debt, and you're steadily paying it off, right? You're in a good spot. You're like, all right, listen, we got credit card debt. Let's halt the spending. Let's only pay for what we have to pay, and let's be very aware of what's coming in, that we're paying down that debt, okay? More than just the minimum payment due. Just let's hammer this thing and pay down that debt. And they were doing it, man. And they're down like 40, 50, $60 million they had taken off that ledger. But then they walked by the window and saw that beautiful pair of shoes. Like, God, scan the card. Take my money. Take my money. Just couldn't help but do it, man. But listen, this shouldn't be the franchise tag is a bit of a surprise, but I'll give you a qualifier in just a second. What is not a surprise is that the Saints are finding a way to keep Marcus Williams on the roster. So much of our conversation about Marcus Williams is the Minneapolis Miracle and some of his misses in the defensive secondary. But Sean Payton and this coaching staff have always gushed about Marcus Williams and the job that he has done for this defense. And before this season started, the 2020 season started, we did it on this show. I gave you a breakdown of the top safeties in the NFL through the first 3 years of their career, where they were relative to Marcus Williams, and he was on par with every single one of them. It doesn't matter who you're talking about. If it was Landon Collins or Budda Baker or name it, the best safeties in the NFL, when you look at every statistical measurable, Marcus Williams was right there with the best of them in the NFL. So what I'm telling you is, if you've been critical of Marcus Williams, your eyes are deceiving you. Because, as they say, the eye in the sky don't lie. You put on the film, and he's been a guy that has undeniably been a great defensive player for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, there are objective measurables that say he is right there among the best in the NFL. So, Marcus Williams is going to be back. Now, here's the other part of that. The player doesn't have to sign the franchise tender until the summer if they intend to play that season under the franchise tag. It is still very possible, maybe even likely, that the Saints and Marcus Williams agree to a long-term contract, which, like we've talked about with Ryan Ramczyk and Marshawn Lattimore, lowers the Saints' cap number in 2021. You backload the contract, so you have a bigger cap hit at the end of the deal, which gives you some leverage the front of the deal. That's a very real possibility for this still. Because it's clear the Saints want Marcus Williams on this roster for more than just a year. But if the two sides can't come to an agreement today, this is a way to make sure that he doesn't walk the day free agency begins and he gets a big deal somewhere else. This ties him to you to at least give you the opportunity to negotiate a longer-term deal or have him on the roster in 2021 at a very high price tag, and then you see if you can figure out a longer-term deal next year. But for now, the Saints have exercised the franchise tag. They've used it on Marcus Williams. We'll see if they're able to agree to a long-term deal, but this most certainly means the Saints and Trey Hendrickson will part ways. If the Saints exercise the franchise tag on Marcus Williams, they were only going to be able to afford really one high-priced free agent this offseason, and they've chosen Marcus Williams. They see his value on this defense. So, hey, Marcus Davenport, it's time. Carl Granderson, it's time. The Saints are going to have to rely on other guys to step up and fill that gap at the defensive end spot opposite Cam Jordan, because this basically spells the end of Trey Hendrickson's time in New Orleans. But a new chapter for Marcus Williams is the Saints clearly want the safety and part of this defense for years to come. It'll certainly be part of the Saints defense for at least 2021 and very likely beyond. But more cap work to do. Okay, it's After Further Review. Glad you're here with us. Brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. That's what Insurance Network of Louisiana delivers. We'll knock out a quick break. Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated will join us next. Les Miles, out of a job. He'll very likely never coach again. We'll get some perspective from Delly on that and his time covering LSU and his reaction to everything that's unfolded here over the last week or so. Stick around. It's After Further Review.
AFR.
Started telling you about a great new sponsor here on After Further Review, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Pools, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Outdoor kitchens, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Fences, decks, pergolas, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. They even do bulkheads. Gorgeous outdoor spaces, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Get to the website. It's peckbuilt.com. P-E-C as in Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Peckbuilt.com. Peckbuilt.com. See pictures of their work. They do gorgeous work. You want to make your outdoor area a showpiece, that custom pool or outdoor kitchen, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Look for that Pinnacle green. You'll see the signs everywhere. Pinnacle Exterior Constructions. Peckbuilt.com. That's P-E-C built. Peckbuilt.com for Pinnacle Exterior Constructions.
At Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, you can get a Corolla with 0% financing or buy it for $19,158. That's 0% financing. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service. HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, so we got a little change here. We were expected to be joined by Ross Dellinger right now. Ross and I texted during the break there, and apparently this story is evolving, and Ross has to bump this back a little bit. So let's tentatively say Ross will be with us in hour 3. So Ross Dellinger will join us hour 3. Larry Holder was good enough to kind of flip. So Larry will be with us in 15 minutes from right now, and Ross Dellinger now in hour 3. We'll go around the SEC here in just a quick second. We'll do Larry at the bottom of the hour. But I want to be clear that, and I really don't enjoy, I know I've said this enough, and I feel like a broken record saying it again, but I don't like doing this topic. I don't want to do this topic. I want to move on from it, but it's a massive cloud hanging over not just LSU, but LSU athletics that potentially could have deeper ramifications. If you thought the release of the Hush Blackwell report on Friday and LSU's suspensions of Verge Osbury and Miriam Seeger ended this, you're very wrong. Because Hush Blackwell is a law firm, yes, but they were hired by LSU to conduct an internal investigation. They did not have subpoena power. They do not have, any of the legal authority that a court proceeding would. But remember, Title IX is a federal law. If a university is in violation of federal law, then the federal government can investigate and would, in fact, have subpoena power for depositions and things of that nature where you have to comment under oath. I guess you could plead the Fifth, but if you are speaking and you're speaking under oath, you have the threat of perjury. If you lie under oath, all of a sudden it becomes far more sincere. And if you didn't hear this news, Johnston von Springer from our news partner WBRZ got a hold of someone within the United States Department of Education, and they did in fact confirm that they are reviewing, the Department of Education is reviewing the Hush Blackwell report, and that they very well could open an investigation into LSU. Here's the tweet from Johnston von Springer with WBRZ. It reads, in a statement to WBRZ, the U.S. Department of Education spokesperson says, the Office for Civil Rights within DOE is aware of the Title IX allegations concerning Louisiana State University and is currently reviewing the Hush Blackwell report on the university's handlings of those matters. Now, Johnson von Springer also on WBRZ interviewed Jim Newberry, who is a Title IX expert. And here's what Jim Newberry said about the prospects of the Department of Education investigating LSU.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if they didn't initiate their own investigation, the end result of which is likely to be an agreement with LSU to undertake various steps to remedy their problems over a specified period of time.
So expect the Department of Education to investigate LSU, and then what may come of that?
I would also expect the U.S. Department of Education will be looking to see whether or not LSU appropriately reported all of these incidents on its campus safety report, the Cleary report, as it is sometimes referred to. And all of those could lead to substantial inquiries that are expensive. And in the case of the Cleary violations, they could lead to significant fines for the institution.
Expect the United States Department of Education to investigate LSU, which could lead to even further punishments. And I'll remind you that, look, those kids who organized their protest yesterday at LSU, I applaud them. Good on them. They're the ones that had enough balls to stand up and do something about something so egregious happening at their campus, which the very wealthy, powerful, entitled people running that university chose not to give up their wealth, power, or entitlement and punish themselves. They just will slap on the wrist and move on. The United States Department of Education may not be quite as lenient. So my point is, if you thought this was over, it's far from over. And another domino fell with Les Miles being let go at Kansas. Jeff Long, the AD at Kansas, released a statement on Monday evening. I'm extremely disappointed for our university fans and everyone involved with our football program. There was a lot of young talent on this football team, and I have no doubt we will identify the right individual to lead this program. We will begin the search for a new head coach immediately with an outside firm to assist in this process. We need to win football games, and that is exactly what we're going to do. It's worth noting that Jeff Long did not hire a search firm last time. He just hired his friend, Les Miles, who clearly had this background, which was not investigated or uncovered. And for that, Jeff Long should be fired as well. Man, the consequence-free nature of all of this with high-ranking officials in university, athletic departments, administrations that are just costing money and prestige to all these institutions of higher learning, and not to mention the fact just the ethics and morality of turning a blind eye to sexual crimes is just heinous. So, good. Bring on the investigation. Come on, Department of Education. If LSU won't take care of its own housekeeping, why don't you come on down and do it? Remind you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. Super Service Award from Angie's List. Torch Award for Ethics in Business. You want to talk about ethical people? Look no further than Brandon Holly. Brandon and Adrian are awesome people. You can trust Relief Windows to come to your house, to install beautiful windows, door siding, to do a fantastic job, and they will never take money from you until you're thrilled with the work they do. That's Relief Windows. Check them out, ReliefWindows.com. ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows, and ReliefWindows.com. Okay, Larry Holder in about 10 minutes. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Ole Miss Rebels.
Lane Kiffin continues to add to his coaching staff. He's pulled Quincy Casimir from Wake Forest. Casimir was a defensive grad assistant for the Demon Deacons the last 2 seasons. He is expected to work with Ole Miss's defensive backs. Casimir played at the University of Miami and is from Miami. Ole Miss set to open spring on March 23rd.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas starts spring football today, Tuesday, March the 9th. And there's several moves that Sam Pittman said he's implementing here in spring football. True freshman early enrollee Raheem Sanders is going to play running back. He was expected to play wide receiver in a role similar to what Traylon Burks played last season. Also, Zach Zemos, a linebacker, 6'4", 225. He's going to work outside at nickel and various safety spots, and they're also looking at using Mike Woods more in the slot.
The Texas A&M Aggies.
For a third year in a row, A&M has gone into Arkansas and landed the state's top prospect. A Fayetteville 4-star wide receiver, Isaiah Sategna, has committed to A&M over Arkansas, Baylor, Florida State, Missouri, Oregon, Oklahoma State, South Carolina, Texas Tech, USC, and others. Sategna grew up in Texas but moved to Arkansas a couple of years ago, so that's the fit back home. 5'11", 170 pounds, number 247 overall in the country, number 36 wide receiver in the class. He is the 8th commitment for the Aggies 2022 class.
The Auburn Tigers.
And a lawsuit filed on behalf of a former Auburn employee last week alleges a former Auburn football player had a grade change during the fall of 2019 semester that allowed him to remain eligible for the Outback Bowl. Part of the discrimination lawsuit filed on behalf of Travis Thomas Sr., who's the former director of academic support services, who was fired on March 1st. Former Auburn tight end H-back J.J. Wilson is said to be the player who had the grade changed. Thomas is alleging he was treated so badly that they were trying to make him quit, but ultimately, before he had a chance to resign, he was fired. We'll keep an eye on that and what it may mean for Auburn athletics. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you get with Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. Again, gcopnet.com. It was interesting listening to that story about A&M landing the best player out of Arkansas. So the last 3 years, the top player in that state has committed to Texas A&M. In the state of Arkansas, has committed to Texas A&M. And it goes to show why the Arkansas job is such a hard one. Because even though you're in the Southeastern Conference, and even though you have all of the resources that SEC schools have, and even though you're at Arkansas where you have Jerry Jones money and Walmart money and Tyson Chicken money and FedEx money. The fact is, you don't have a great talent pool in state. Do you realize the best player in the state of Arkansas this year just committed to Texas A&M? The best player in Arkansas is number 247 overall in the country and the 38th best wide receiver. If you go get the best player in your state, he's the 38th best in the country at his position. If you look by contrast, let's just look at LSU's 2022 commitment list. I mean, I think many of you know this, but this is just an exercise just to illustrate this. So look at LSU's 2022 class where there's a bumper crop in the state of Louisiana. But when you look at the 2022 signing class for LSU, Walker Howard, number 22 in the country. Will Campbell, number 33 in the country. LaTerrence Welch, number 151 in the country. Aaron Anderson, number 236 in the country. There are 4 players from Louisiana, 4 from Louisiana, already committed to LSU, who are ranked higher than the highest-ranked player in the state of Arkansas, who's now committed to Texas A&M. And that's not even counting players in the state for 2022 who are not yet committed, who very well could be committed. Whenever you look at the rankings in the state of Louisiana for 2022. I mean, there are, Walker Howard, Jacoby Matthews, Will Campbell, Shaz Preston, Le'Veon Moss, Kendrick Law, Jamon Tapp, Trevor Etienne, LaTerrence Welch, Trevante Citizen, Emory Jones, Aaron Anderson. The top 12 players in Louisiana. The top 12 players in Louisiana for 2022 are ranked higher than the highest-rated player in Arkansas who's committed now to Texas A&M. You want to know why it's hard to win there? That's why it's hard to win there. You want to know why LSU is a top 5 job in the country? That's why LSU is a top 5 job in the country. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Larry Holder is going to join us next. He put out a mock 53-man roster, which included draft picks. You better believe I'm absolutely going to annihilate him for one of them next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Our Tuesday shows are brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. I tell you every day, better coverage for less money. One thing in particular I have to share with you. If you're a parent and your child has recently been added to your insurance policy, your auto insurance policy, you probably saw a spike in your premiums. Call Insurance Network of Louisiana. I see this almost every day when I talk to Adam and Jay over at Insurance Network of Louisiana. Especially with COVID, So many people saw their insurance premiums rise. They're saving money there, but especially on people who have their children on their auto policies. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop to get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
At Cornwall Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, you can get a Corolla with 0% financing or buy it for $19,158.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I'm glad you're with us here on a Tuesday edition of AFR. Ross Dellinger will be with us in hour number 3, so we'll look forward to that. Thank you, Bray. The NFL Period 2 franchise tag players opened today, or finished today, rather, at 3 o'clock Central Time. It was thought the Saints would not franchise tag a player. In reality, they did. The Saints ended up using the franchise tag on Marcus Williams, the safety, who the Saints now will be on the hook for at least $10.5 million, provided he plays under that tag. Larry Holder, theathletic.com/New Orleans. Good up to join us here. Larry, how are you?
I'm good, Matthew. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Reaction to the Saints using the tag on Marcus Williams?
I think the tag is a surprise just because we know the salary cap gymnastics that they're trying to get on that pommel horse or the rings or the floor exercise, whatever kind of gymnastics you want to talk about. But there's no doubt that they wanted to keep Marcus Williams, and I think this goes to show you that they're willing to do it. Now, they do have time to lower that number of $10.5 million, which is a one-year deal for next year. If they get a contract extension done before free agency, that number can drop. Of course, they can do it even after free agency, but obviously it would be beneficial to somehow drop the number before, just because you would not have to chop elsewhere or restructure elsewhere. But I think the Saints didn't want to take any chances. And so by tagging him, they showed Marcus Williams, hey, look, they want you there long term. And they'll get a deal done. But it depends on when they do it as to how beneficial it will be for the Saints, because if they do it, say, in June, it's not certainly as helpful if they do it in a week, which is basically when they'd have to have one done when free agency would start.
Do you think that's realistic to get a new deal done before the start of free agency?
I think it's probably challenging, because if you had the parameters of a deal that was ready to go, you'd do it now. So I do think that, look, deadlines spur action. Maybe the Saints go a little deeper than maybe they would want to with Marcus Williams just to make that happen. But usually I can't remember a before free agency where someone who was tagged and you got a deal done quickly thereafter. I can't really recall a situation where that's happened.
Is it a safe assumption that this decision to tag Marcus Williams means that Trey Hendrickson's time in New Orleans is done?
I would assume that, yes. I don't think they were going to consider tagging Trey Hendrickson by any means, but if they're going to spend on one guy, they were going to spend on Marcus Williams and see what else happens elsewhere. Because, I think Trey Hendrickson, while he had a really great season this past year, you measure each of them. Marcus Williams has been a 4-year starter. He's been good to very good to great at times with the Saints. Of course, we know the flaws of a play here or there that's always punctuated, but still, he's one of the better safeties in the NFL. And we've seen the Saints with life without a good free safety. It's called 2014 to 2016, where it was Jarris Byrd and then a bunch of band of jokers when Byrd couldn't play.
So basically the band of jokers, because Byrd never played. He sucked.
He was not very good. And that's what happened. Remember that contract? They went 6 years, averaging $9 million a year on that deal, and they let Malcolm Jenkins walk, and he got half that money and went on to be a Pro Bowl player in Philadelphia and won a Super Bowl title for the Eagles.
They've got about $55 million to go between now and the start of free agency next week. Yeah. So how do they do that?
Well, you could go Quan Alexander, that chops $13 million off. You could go Malcolm Brown, that chops $5 million off. You could go Janoris Jenkins, that chops $7 million off. So that's $25 million there.
Just $30 million to go, Larry.
Hey, you could chop Emmanuel Sanders. That's if you just chop him, that's $4 million. If you trade him, that's $6 million. If I'm missing someone like, say, Patrick Robinson, you gain $2.5 million. I know I'm missing someone.
Latavius Murray.
Latavius Murray, you chop him, that's $2.5 million.
Murray, present.
And then you go into restructure mode, and that's what you do. But it's we're talking a lot. We're not talking superstar names, but we're talking about people that were good pieces to the puzzle that the Saints know that they're going to lose one way or the other.
Larry Holder's with us, theathletic.com/New Orleans, and his latest piece up right now at The Athletic is a 53-man roster projection for 2021. And I will give it to you, my friend. This is ambitious. A roster projection before free agency or the draft. But you took a stab at it here. All right, let's start with some obvious questions. What were the most difficult challenges here as far as personnel that you had to weigh?
Look, the first thing I just need to say is I got one thing right. I kept Marcus Williams on the roster, so
Good.
I got that one.
Congrats. You did nail that.
Yes. I would say the temptation to look at free agents and say, well, he would work, but then you're thinking, I don't even know if $3 million is too much to pay for somebody. So it was a massive challenge trying to figure out what free agents I would peg to the Saints. And let's look at this exercise in the fact that it's not necessarily, oh my gosh, all right, I'm taking this guy, he's going to be on the roster. It's more about where I think they might look free agency and the depth where they can look free agency, and then looking at the draft and saying, all right, I would assume or think they should draft players at X position as opposed to going somewhere else. So I know you're hung up on one guy.
Well, you do have a dynamite Sazerac reference right there in like the second line. So I'm very glad because I have a bottle of Sazerac here on the desk every day. But you do have the Saints drafting Kyle Trask. And for that, I want to discredit your entire exercise because that's just not smart.
It's not smart if you're taking him with like the 95th pick in the draft. It's not smart?
No.
Why?
Because he's not going to be a good NFL player.
Oh, Matthew.
Yeah?
You don't bank on every third-round pick being like the greatest player in American history, but I feel like there are traits that would fit him as quarterback within the Saints offense. I don't say he's got to be a starter. Okay.
I kind of feel like a few months ago you were telling me that the Saints should trade up in round 1 to take him. Now you're telling me he's going to be a third-round pick. By the time we get to the draft, what's he going to be, a seventh-round pick? What's he going to be? The kid Stevens out of Mississippi State, they got to trade back in around 7 to snag? Is that who was going to be come round 7?
Look, just because Kyle Trask is going to play quarterback and guard for the Saints, it's not a big deal. You bulk him up, let him beat Jared Lorenzen, and then you just mix and match him. Look, it's, again, Matt, it is more about the point that I think the Saints are going to draft a quarterback. It is less about the point that it's Kyle Trask, but the fact that it just bothers you so much, I just feel like it's my crusade to push Kyle Trask to the Saints.
So you do, something that LSU fans will like is that you do have the Saints drafting Tyler Shelvin out of LSU and then also drafting Cam Sample and picking up Ryan Kerrigan in free agency. So really the bulk of your moves there on the defensive front. Explain if you would.
Yeah, and I definitely pondered, say, taking defensive linemen earlier in the draft. Someone like Jalen Phillips from Miami. I had him down and deleted him like 5 times as maybe someone I would get as an edge guy. But no, I took Shelvin because I figured he might be a third-round pick. You're going to need nose tackle depth because I'm assuming Malcolm Brown will be gone. And the only guy I really look at that's on the roster right now that plays nose tackle, not say the 3 technique where David Onyemata plays, but nose is really Shy Tuttle. And Tyler Shelvin is a big man, and to me it feels like he can come in and play. And then you mentioned Cam Sample. I've seen him play a lot watching Tulane. I think he is a prospect that people are sleeping on. I think he could play inside or outside. Like he's like 275, but I feel like he did a really good job with Tulane, and I feel like he's someone with versatility you can kind of mix and match. And I had him in my mock 53 manner as a 4th-round pick. So, and then you bring in Ryan Kerrigan. I think you're going to need someone rotationally outside of Marcus Davenport and Kyle Granderson and Cam Jordan. So go get a veteran guy who he wasn't a starter last year for Washington, but he did have 5.5 sacks and maybe a change of scenery. And I feel like the price tag for a lot of these guys is not going to be super high. So, again, it's not just I'm saying, hey, bring in Ryan Kerrigan. It's bring in someone of his ilk at defensive end at a cheap price tag.
Before you go, I notice you don't have Russell Wilson on the Saints roster, so why are you wrong?
Why am I wrong?
Yeah.
I'm correct. What do you mean, why am I wrong?
Well, because Russell Wilson's going to be the Saints quarterback.
they're banking the future on a third-round quarterback out of Florida named Kyle Trask, just like Seattle did with a third-round quarterback named Russell Wilson. Duh, Matt, read the tea leaves. That's it.
He's Larry Holder. He's wrong, but you can read all of his wrong stuff at theathletic.com/New Orleans and follow him on Twitter at Larry Holder. Thank you, and thank you for your flexibility today.
Yeah, you got it. And no better way to encourage subscriptions to The Athletic than saying, read my wrong stuff. I think that is like my headline for life, right?
You did reference Sazerac, so I'll give you that.
I referenced that like before the fold. Like that was a free one.
I know, right up there. Well, you mentioned India Pale Ale. See, so I did actually read it. You mentioned IPAs, and you mentioned Sazerac. They'd have to upgrade the IPA to a Sazerac, which is a better option anyway.
Both are like my two favorite beverages of choice.
Hey, that's good to hear. You and I will pour a Sazerac next time I see you, and I'll look forward to it.
Damn right. Good deal, buddy.
Okay, man. That's Larry Holder. Again, on Twitter at Larry Holder, theathletic.com/New Orleans. Fun exercise if you want to go read it up at theathletic.com/New Orleans. We'll wrap up hour number 1 when we come back. Stay here.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, or you don't pay a dime. And I've been loving sharing reviews with you from customers just like you about their experience with River City's 1 Hour Air. Ronnie Phipps sent this one in about one of the River City's 1 Hour Air technicians that came to his house. Said, did top-notch work, was very knowledgeable and informative. I'd rate him 10 out of 10. It's one thing about being knowledgeable, but another to be able to communicate the knowledge to the customer. He did a great job doing both. I was very happy with the service. As always, we appreciate River City's 1 Hour Air. They're expert technicians who take the time to explain to you all of your options. Most of us might never replace a central AC system in our lives. Maybe once. So to know as much as we can about it to make the best informed decisions, it matters. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Cool on that.
The moment you realize something is truly luxury is the moment you put it to use. Purchase or lease a new Infiniti QX80 online today with Infiniti Now.
Visit Infiniti of Baton Rouge at 13540 Airline Highway or online at InfinityBR.com.
the best oysters in Baton Rouge.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, final segment here of hour number one. Tuesday show is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. We will preview LSU and Texas Southern from the box. That's coming up in about 10 minutes from right now. Lee Feinswog next hour. We'll talk some hoops, beer, all that good stuff. And we will delve into Les Miles' legacy in the next hour also. The big story today, of course, with respect to on-the-field stuff is the New Orleans Saints using the franchise tag on Marcus Williams as we continue to learn how the Saints make this work financially. If more announcements come down the pipe today, we'll pass it along to you here. Real quick, as we wrap up the hour, I wanted to share this with you. There is a group, which you probably never heard of. That's okay, because quite honestly, I did not know either. The group is called Lead One, Lead 1. It's a group, the Lead One Association represents more than 130 athletic directors at FBS programs. So this group did a survey of more than 100 athletic directors asking to pick between one of two models for major college athletics. What their preference would be for the future of college athletics in the next 5 years. The first model was based on a professional structure. Student athletes would be treated as employees. They would have NIL rights. They could collectively bargain. They'd be eligible for workers' comp. They'd have the possibility for rev share with basketball and football. Title IX compliance would also be a significant part of that model. Okay, that's the first. The second is the higher education model, as it's listed. They would not have a collective bargaining option or employment rights. They would require granting antitrust protection by Congress, which would allow the NCAA and conferences to negotiate and enact policies which would lower compensation for coaches and athletic directors, etc., lower buyouts, eliminate the race to build state-of-the-art facilities, basically reduce spending as it's inflated so much, and it would be more heavily invested in Olympic and non-revenue sports. So you'd spread money instead of just investing so much money in coaches in the major sports and facilities, would spread across all the sports. Which do you think the athletic directors picked? Yeah, 96% said they want the college model. Yeah, I'm stunned that college administrators wouldn't want to have to deal with a collectively bargained workforce where they have to factor in workers' compensation and potentials for strikes and things like that. Good God. I mean, and this group, which represents 130 FBS athletic directors, they say what this survey reveals is that, hell, I'll read the quote from the CEO, Tom McMillan, who said, what this survey demonstrates is our school's willingness to reduce spending and create additional opportunities for student athletes if given the proper tools by lawmakers. That is baloney. That is horse hockey. That is, what would RC call it? Bullcorn. If athletic directors were really interested in lessening compensation, lessening buyouts, eliminating the facilities arms race, they would do it. There's nothing forcing an athletic director from paying a coach 7 figures. There's no mandate that buyouts be the full amount of a contract. There's no warrant suggesting you have to build multi-million-dollar facilities. You're doing that on your own. It's the coaches, too. Hell, when Ed Ogeron got the job, he said, I'd take this job for free. He's making $7 million a year. I'd take it for free. Where's my money? It ain't just Ed. Don't misunderstand me. It's all of them. But here's the other part of that. You reduce revenue, you also reduce benefits for student athletes. And that's the thing that student athletes miss with this. You reduce revenue, hey, there go your charter flights. There go your 5-star hotels. There go your football ops buildings with the waterfalls, the barbershops, the flat screens, the first-class airplane pods in your locker. That all goes away if you're reducing revenue. Be mindful. Careful what you ask for. You might just get it. SportsCenter's coming up. Hour 2 is next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. That's Michelli.com. Michelli.com. We are talking B2B here. If you are a business in one of dozens of different industries and you weigh or measure something, even if it's you're a restaurant or you're a meat producer, and you have to weigh and measure your supply, and efficiency matters. Michelli. The scales, the gauges, the calipers, everything that you use, Michelli sells it, Michelli rents it, or they service it. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. Choose the partner you can trust. Michelli has been in business since 1947. They're right there in Harahan. They've got 6 offices across Louisiana. They're in 11 states with 29 offices total. Learn more online. Michelli.com. Michelli.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
$14,000 off MSRP on a new 2020 Ford Expedition XLT. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news from ESPN's Jenna Lane. The Buccaneers are re-signing linebacker Levante David to a 2-year, $25 million contract. $20 million guaranteed. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Packers did not tag running back Aaron Jones on this franchise tag deadline day. Packers are trying to re-sign him before he gets to free agency. Playing on the tag a second straight season, no longer a concern for the Cowboys and quarterback Dak Prescott. The sides agreed yesterday on a 4-year, $160 million deal. With that contract come high expectations for Prescott and more responsibility, believes ESPN's Dan Orlovsky.
Guys are out. Guys aren't playing well. Defense stinks. When you pay him that much money, he's got to be the absolute difference maker. And we've never seen Dak Prescott be a difference maker. We've seen him be good. We've seen him play good football. We've seen him have really good stats. We've never seen him be the absolute difference maker.
Dan Orlovsky on Greeny with Mike Greenberg. Paul Pierce, Chris Bosh among the finalists for this year's Basketball Hall of Fame class. The class announced Final Four weekend.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
The Brain.
And the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tomplin. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Man, we got a lot to get to. Lee Feinswog in about 15 minutes. Basketball Tigers getting set to return to the SEC tournament. Of course, they didn't play in the tournament last year. The first game of the tournament went off, and then the tournament was canceled. So LSU under Will Wade has never won an SEC tournament game, which is stunning to think. But they're 0-for in the tournament under Will Wade. So see if they can change that on Friday. So we will talk some hoops coming up. Ross Dellinger next hour. Ross was supposed to be with us in hour 1. I'd asked Ross, if you haven't read it yet, I'd highly recommend you do. Ross wrote a column for SI about his friendship, professional and personal, with Les Miles and how he was wrong about Les. And also owned a lot of what has happened, considering he was the LSU beat reporter during everything that apparently happened during Les's time in Baton Rouge, and that Ross acknowledges he should have done more as the beat writer covering LSU to make sure that this was uncovered years ago and wasn't. A dark secret of systemic failure at LSU and the Les Miles I thought I knew. It's a column from Ross Dellinger up right now at si.com if you want to go give it a read. Okay, so after further review, LSU baseball is back on the diamond tonight. Busy week, of course, for LSU. They play tonight at home against Texas Southern. Tomorrow, they are on the road at UNO. And then they've got a home series Friday, Saturday, Sunday before a midweek game next week and then open up SEC play against third-ranked Mississippi State. So 6 games in 8 days for LSU starting tonight. And as we mentioned, it opens with Texas Southern coming here to Baton Rouge. A couple of things that Paul Mainieri mentioned yesterday when he met with the media. One, and most important, I guess, is that coming off a weekend series where you lost to Oral Roberts, changes are coming to the lineup.
Things we need to do to improve to get back on track and be competitive in the SEC. Wilson, that's no different than every year. You know, we're only 12 games into the season, and you learn a lot about your team as the season wears on, and I'm certainly learning a lot about our team. And there definitely will need to be some changes. But
one of those changes, obviously, is going to be Cade Doughty getting back in the lineup. If you remember, Doty hit the walk-off last weekend, celebrating the walk-off, injured his shoulder. He's been out since, but there's a chance we could see K. Doty tonight.
One of those changes will be to get K. Doty back in the lineup. I feel like, without question, had we had K. Doty in the lineup yesterday, I just feel strongly that he's, one of the best players, not only on our team, but in our league. And he would have done something yesterday to help us score at least another run or two. And maybe that would have made the difference in us winning that ball game yesterday.
For what it's worth, Doty hitting .321 with 10 RBI. If he were among those that qualify, Doty would be behind Cruz, who's hitting .391, Morgan .372, Dugas .366, Drost 357, and Arnold .341. You throw K. Doty back in that mix, and now 6 of your 9 everyday players are batting over 300. So that, and breaking up the lefties in the lineup, pretty good reason for Paul Mary to think that it could have been different against Oral Roberts. I mean, you put one of the best hitters back in your lineup, and it allows you to go Cruz, Doty, Morgan, Drost, or whoever they have hitting cleanup. It basically puts everybody else in line and bumps them back down a spot in the order and makes you deeper as a lineup. LSU got guys on base on Sunday. They were 1 of 15 with runners on base and 1 of 7 with runners in scoring position. So, yeah, you put one of your best hitters back in the lineup, naturally, that's going to make you better. Tonight, against Texas Southern in particular, there's a couple of things that I'm looking forward to. One, of course, would be K. Doty's return. If K. Doty's back, he very likely goes to second base, which means you move Zach Arnold back to shortstop and Drew Bianco goes to the bench. Let's just be honest, LSU is a better lineup without Drew Bianco in it. I hate sounding super critical of college kids, but Bianco is a kid who is hitting 167 for his career. He's hitting about 130. He's struck out 36% of his career at bats. It's just he's a guy that's proven over the course of 119 career at bats that he's just not a great hitter. 151 hitter for his career. So if you remove Bianco and you have Doty and Arnold in your middle infield, both of those guys hitting north of 300, yeah, you're going to be better. That also means you can have the luxury of DHing a Gavin Dugas or Cade Beloso, while one of those guys mans one of the outfield spots with Drost in center and Cruz in right. I mean, it makes you better. There's no question. So let's see if K. Doty is back tonight. I obviously want to see Javen Coleman tonight as well. Coleman and Ty Floyd. I'd throw Garrett Edwards in there as well. Those are the freshmen that you can really look at and go, the stuff is there. Like LSU next year, this is a conversation for the future, but LSU next year is going to be replacing its entire weekend rotation. Hill, Marcel Labus, all in pro ball next year. My guess is the odds-on favorites for your starting rotation next year in whatever order are going to be Javen Coleman, Garrett Edwards, and Ty Floyd. Those are the 3 freshmen that have had the biggest impact so far this year, and I want to see Javen Coleman bounce back. His first 2, he's had 3 outings this year. He bookended that rough start against Nichols last week where LSU rallied and got the win, but he bookended that with great appearances. And from the left side, he was really good this weekend as well. That game against Nichols just went an inning and 2/3, allowed 2 runs on 2 hits, walked 3, struck out 2. That's the one outlier for Javen Coleman. Other than that, he's been really good. Let's see if he can handcuff these Texas Southern bats tonight, kind of get back on the right track. The other thing to keep in mind, and Paul Maneri talked about this, is the bullpen, because you got, as I mentioned, 9 innings tonight, 9 innings tomorrow. You'll have Thursday off, then you got to go Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You'll have Monday off, then a midweek game next Tuesday against Southeastern before you open up conference play. You got 6 games in 8 days. You got to eat up a bunch of innings. So the hope is, obviously, Coleman tonight, Edwards tomorrow, eat up a bunch of innings, but your bullpen is going to have to be efficient. Here was Paul Maneri on his bullpen this week.
We need to get Devin Fontenot on track. But we did have some very good relief performances, and I think getting the proper roles for those guys. Once we get out of the 5 games a week setup, we're going to be able to use guys out of the bullpen in a more defined way. But because we have so many innings to pitch, like for example, Will Helmers, who's going to be starting on Wednesday against UNO, which will limit what he can do on the weekend. But I think Will Helmers is going to be a guy that you can bring in relief of AJ Labus after the 5th inning and give him the ball in the 6th inning, and he might be able to give you the 6th inning, 7th inning, maybe even the 8th inning, as opposed to just trying to get a 1 inning type of thing out of him.
We'll start to see how this all plays out tonight with LSU and Texas Southern. 6:30 first pitch. You can hear the game on our sister station, Eagle 98.1. So tune in, watch the game, listen to the game. Here's hoping LSU gets back on track with the game tonight. Tigers against Tigers out at Alex Box Stadium. Okay, it's after further review. Feinswog joins us next. Stick around on AFR.
AFR.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, you can get a Corolla with 0% financing or buy it for $19,158. That's 0% financing. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvette Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big V and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hi, Lee.
Hello, Matt. What a lovely day, isn't it? Of course, you're inside in a studio. You wouldn't know, but it's really pretty out.
Yes, I'm inside without a window, so I have no idea what it looks like outside.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
In here, it's very dark.
It's gorgeous.
They've literally painted all the walls black, even the brick.
I've been in there. I know. It's
Yeah,
bad.
it is dark.
Nice day to drink the beer I'll recommend for you later.
Looking forward to that. Hey, are you optimistic about this LSU basketball team going to Nashville and putting on a good show?
I don't think optimistic is a word you apply to this team.
Why not?
Curious. Apply curious.
I mean,
Nice-
they won double
nice
digits.
victory.
I told you they were going to win 12 in the SEC, and but for having a couple of games suspended, they probably
I told
would have done that.
And I told you they were going to win 10, and they won 11, and we had agreed the over-under was 10.5.
So I win?
So, there you go. You win. But, oh, come on. This team is so strange. I mean, since we last talked, right, they dominated Vanderbilt, but you expected nothing less. And then a real nice, end of the game against Missouri. That was real nice basketball. Good stuff. But optimistic this team is so up and down and so unpredictable and so adept at giving away leads, and then so many times this year has come back and done really nice comebacks, and other times looks like a bunch of NBA players, and other times looks like they've never practiced and don't care. You don't know. I mean, certainly LSU's better than Ole Miss if it gets to play Ole Miss, but didn't South Carolina give LSU a run right, in Baton Rouge?
They did, and if you remember, that was also the game where Frank Martin wasn't here because of COVID. And it was an 85-80 game, and LSU kind of had to hold off a bad South Carolina team without their coach.
Yeah, and I remember us talking, saying, well, if Frank Martin had been here, because the assistant coach did some stuff where everybody was like, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go figure. Are you optimistic?
Yeah. I mean, I think they'll beat South Carolina or Ole Miss. Will Wade said he was a little leery because they hadn't played those teams in more than a month. It was early in mid-January when they played Ole Miss and South Carolina, the 9th and the 16th, respectively. How big of a deal is that? Having not played them since early January, 2 months.
Matt, I can't answer intelligently because nothing makes sense this year and nothing is what it seems. It's just Alabama's really good and better than everybody else. Arkansas is a pretty good team. And then after that, it's March.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget, it's still March. March Madness still applies, but it ought to be March Pandemic Madness.
So LSU is in the NCAA tournament. Do you
No
care
doubt.
to take a stab at seeding prospects based on what happens? Like, let's say hypothetically they beat either Ole Miss or South Carolina Friday and then lose to Arkansas on Saturday. Where do you think they end up?
Probably like a 9 seed.
See, most bracketologists right now have them as either a 7 or right there teetering on the 7-8 line.
Okay, well, it's only 4 spots to the next one, to the 9, and if you have them losing their first round SEC game, but so their record is not indicative of how good they can play at times. So, like I've said this to you before, whoever gets LSU in the NCAA tournament in the first round has to look at that, whether they're a 7, 8, or 9, and say, oh, they could easily be a 3 or a 4 seed if things had gone their way, and they could be the 3 or 4 seed that we don't want to play.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to play them. They have players who can carry a team. Thomas can carry a team, for example. And there's so many things about them that are so positive. Watford, when he's good, he can carry a team.
So Javonte Smart and Trendon Watford were second-team All-SEC, and Cam Thomas was first-team All-SEC. Did not win Freshman of the Year, which was odd. Would you have voted for those three for the All-SEC teams?
Yeah, well, for those type of things, yes, I mean, Darius Days might be a more important player or does so many more things, but he was injured and he doesn't have the numbers to back it up. And as anybody else looking at the outside, I mean, how could Cameron Thomas not? You know, and Smart, has said so many times, is so much better than, you know, he's consistently improved and gotten better. Days being healthy, if that's who you're referring to, right? Were you thinking that he should have been in the mix or maybe in?
No, I'm just saying because honestly, Lee, the odd part is that normally fans of a team argue their guy should have been in. What's odd about this is LSU fans are looking at this going, why is Trent Watford in there? Why is Cam Thomas in there? All he does is shoot 30 shots a game. You know, like that's been some of the feedback from LSU fans have been critical of these guys who have had their ups and downs, but man, you look at it and they're like, they won double-digit games in the league. They're going to be in the NCAA tournament. I mean, Cam Thomas is the fourth leading scorer in all of college basketball.
Oh yeah, and I mean, like Watford is averaging, let me see here, 16 points a game. He's averaging 7.4 rebounds. He's got a positive assist to turnover ratio. He runs the floor super well, makes really, really nice moves to the basket. He's become a really good critical situation scorer, especially the other day. Good example, like late in that game against Missouri.
Okay, yeah.
You know, when he's shooting 70% from the line. I mean, what's not to like? You know, he's even a 30% three-point shooter. Of course, it's only 15 out of 49. No, the guy's a stud. He's really nice.
I get into this debate all the time, Lee, with LSU fans.
Leading rebounder, right? I mean, well, Days is the leading rebounder, right up there with him. Yeah. What's not to like about Watford?
Well, this is my conundrum, right? Because whenever, and I don't mean to like just revert to fans or argue, but like that's the criticism. It's so weird, and I say like sometimes it's hard to see the forest through the trees. Like when SEC coaches or media outside look at your program and say, "Man, look how good these guys are." Sometimes you're looking under too sharp of a microscope because, man, like it was the same thing with Naz Reid. I'd say, look at that guy. He's 6'10". He's got soft hands. He can shoot. Like, he's an NBA player because there aren't that many humans that can do that. And Trent Watford's the same guy. Like, he's got a long way to go to polish himself, no doubt, but he has a certain skill set that's translatable to the next level. He's going to be an NBA player.
Yeah, and I like him much more as a college player than Naz Reid. Naz Reid just seemed like he was just mailing it in all the time. Trent Watford plays really hard. I don't know what's not to like about him. He plays really, really hard, and he's gotten better and better and better. He's not the greatest defensive player who ever lived, but you know he can work on that. But he's so much better offensively. He seems like a good team player. I don't know. You know, anybody who's telling you that, I don't know what they're talking about.
We are going to talk beer in just a second, but I have to get thoughts on the Hush Blackwell report and everything that's going on.
Sure.
Les Miles' legacy, which is certainly tarnished, if not completely ruined here now forever. Let me go back to Friday, the release of the report, and your reaction to the report and really what we heard from the Board of Supervisors and the President.
Well, there's so many pieces to it. And let me say this week on Sports 225, and I recorded 3 of the 4 segments this morning with Andrea Gallo, the reporter for The Advocate, who covered this from Square One. And I even brought up to her, I said, how incredible her life must have been the last few weeks, not only having to cover this story, which is all-encompassing and draining, but also being sued simultaneously by the Attorney General of the state. Other than that, it was just business as usual as a journalist.
Right.
But I sense for the first time that there's a tone and a note of this is really serious from LSU. You know, this has all happened because the tail wags the dog, and what occurred was terrible. In terms of those individual women who had the courage to step up, I implore anybody who doubts anything, just think to yourself, if that was your daughter, if your daughter was sexually assaulted or raped by an LSU athlete, and if any of it was covered up. I felt like there was a lot of contrition. The report was hard. The report was heavy, and it seemed particularly honest. There were a few things in there that made me go, huh? And I think that there are a lot of people who have worked at LSU a long time in that athletic department in various roles who ought to have a lot of self-examination going on right now. And they don't necessarily have to be football coaches, but they should be. They should, other personnel in the department ought to be thinking, all right, what did I see? What did I worry about? I will also tell you that I don't think it's over. I think at the least there will be some civil suits that come out of this. And how LSU reacts. I've said this to you since the beginning of the pandemic, and I know it's just a pipe dream, hoping that because of what has happened, and not this, but throw in this, that the relationship between academia and athletics would somehow take on some kind of different perspective. And I realize it's not going to. It's a win-at-all-cost mentality. But should the penalties on Verge Osbury, Miriam Seeger, for example, been stronger? Probably. Should other people have been penalized, disciplined, fired? How no one in the football office, how everybody there came away unscathed. I don't believe that LSU is able to do double secret probation on this. So I think that there's still more to come, and there'll be civil suits as well. And LSU is going to have to work really hard to be transparent, above board, and rehabilitate its image. Because then you combine the whole thing with the whole Miles thing this week. That came out of left field, and you're like, what the hell? That's a fair way to put it, don't you think?
I guess I just think back to the rumors that were around in 2013, which quickly got swept away, and then Les got a contract extension. So, I mean, I guess there were warning signs there, and I think back and I go, why? Well, I mean, I know why, but why didn't the people who are investigative reporters that cover LSU or LSU athletics dig deeper then? And I know it's because LSU runs this city. They're just so politically connected. I mean, get the freaking governor of the state throwing passes with the quarterbacks. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just the nature of this. I mean, we got the stadium built because a governor made it a dorm room. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's just the nature of Louisiana. So LSU's kind of done whatever it's wanted always and gotten away with it. For many, it's fear of retribution. So
I applaud the university for hiring an outside source, and I applaud the outside source for being brutally honest. I don't necessarily even agree with everything in there. I haven't had a chance to read every page, but it was, let's see, show me, make improvements, and be better. Fair enough?
No, it felt like a lot of lip service. There was contrition, Lee, but your words are hollow when the actions aren't behind it. And man, hiring 2 new HR people and having this committee informed, like it's not good enough, man. It was a complete deflection of blame to a past regime when you look at every player mentioned in there, from Darius Geis to Drake Davis to Ray Parker to Tay Provins to Jacob Phillips, they all played under Ed Ogeron. They all played under this staff, under that athletic administration, this university president. It was still going on with all of the people that are there right now, and they all just said, not me. It was King Alexander. It was Joe Oliva. It was Les Miles. That's the public face that they put forward, and completely erased blame from themselves when they all had their hands dirty in this. They were all complicit in it, and they all should be gone. And LSU ain't getting a damn cent from me until all of them are.
Well, that's why I said to you, it's hard to believe that nobody in the current football office, coaches and other people, how they all escaped unscathed on this is remarkable.
No, it's not, because it's LSU, bruh. They do what they want, man. Same reason all this crap went on, Lee. I mean, that's cynical of me, but it's true. You've been around long enough. You know how this place works.
No, it's my view on college athletics and big time athletics has changed so much, and you almost feel like you got to take a shower when you're around it sometimes.
But the thing is, Lee, I know we're going.
It won't change. I know it won't change.
I don't care if student athletes are getting money, if they're getting cars, I don't care. Not one. I don't care if they're selling jerseys or autographs. Like, do you get what's yours? Like, That's the biggest. Like, I don't care at all about that. The litany of NCAA rules that are just hot garbage, I don't care about any of it. The idea of amateurism, when you start talking about criminal behavior, covering up sexual assaults, dismissing rapes, like, what the hell are we doing here, man? Like, that's where I am like, no. This is a completely different level conversation. And that's where I just can't be okay with it.
I agree with you totally.
All right.
And I think you said it well.
All right. Let's talk about beer. Here we go.
All right.
Oh, what is the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. I could really use it. Beer.
All right, take it away.
Well, this one's a little bit different, Matt. Our friends at NOLA Brewing Company have come out with a Belgian-style pale ale called Muses. And, of course, that's the name of one of the crews. And when I popped it, and it's only 5% alcohol. When I say only, because some of those ones I tell you about are, so much higher.
Yeah.
Real nice taste. And having been fortunate enough to drink Belgian beer in Belgium, I will tell you, this was legit. And it was really nice. It's not for everyone. It has a different kind of taste. But well worth the try. Beautiful color, nice carbonation. As they say, a light flavor balancing distinctive Belgian yeast and mild citrus hops. Slight sweetness, clean and crisp. I just really like it. Available in cans, also on tap in various places. And there you go. NOLA Brewing Company, Belgian-style pale ale Muses. 5% alcohol with a pretty bottle. And that too, I'd assume you have it. Oh, yeah, you do have it up on screen. I see it there. Nice T-shirt. That would be a nice T-shirt, huh?
Belgium. So we do in Belgium. Call it a Belgian dip.
Yeah. Now, the one time I will tell one quick Brussels story. Drinking beer in there in a bar. The only food they had was a sausage hanging off the wall. And if you ordered the sausage, they took a knife, cut a piece, and then they put it on a plate, chopped it up real quick, blah, 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 and just handed it to you with some mustard. That was the only food in the place. But every beer in Belgium, and it's the law, has to be poured into a glass that comes from that brewery.
Oh.
So if you get a beer from, gosh, I know so many of them, I'm blanking out, and it's got to go in that glass. It's kind of cool.
I think I got what I learned today.
I know. And by the way, what you said about the LSU situation before was spot on, and you phrased it better than anybody. So high fives to you.
Thank you. And we need to get a beer tour going again soon because we went to NOLA Brewery when we did our original beer tour, and that was a great stop, man. They had good food there as well at their tap room. That was a fantastic spot there at NOLA Brewery.
Very, very good. Very good. Oh, everybody out there who wants to drink beer, get your vaccinations and we'll sign up. There we go.
All right, Lee. Thanks, man.
Bye,
That is Lee Feinswog, Sports 225. This is After Further Review. Tuesday show is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana.
AFR.
Boy, the weather is getting nice. Spring has sprung. 75 beautiful degrees today. Get out in the yard and just plant something. Clegg's Nursery. I tell you every day, buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery. They have got pallets of plants and flowers and trees and shrubs and vegetable plants arriving every single day. Their greenhouses are bursting right now with color and product for you to come by any of the Clegg's Nursery locations. Also, remember, weather's getting warmer. The grass is turning from that brown back to green. If during that process you got weeds in your grass, Clegg's can help. Go to Clegg's, ask about their weed-killing cocktail that you could spray in your lawn, spread in your lawn to help give a full, plush, beautiful green lawn this spring and summer. Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Buy local, shop local at Clegg's Nursery.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Cool on that.
The moment you realize something is truly luxury is the moment you put it to use. Purchase or lease a new Infiniti QX80 online today with Infiniti Now.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Brain, what's the poll question?
Today's Citizens Bank poll question, brought to you by Citizens Bank, business bankers, business partners. Would you eat wall sausage?
Yes, I would. Tell me you wouldn't eat wall sausage. I dare you. I dare you to tell me you wouldn't eat wall sausage.
When in Rome.
I dare you.
I would eat wall sausage.
Paulie, I dare you. Tell me you wouldn't eat wall sausage. I dare you.
Sure.
You'd eat wall sausage.
Why not?
Is there anybody that would not eat wall sausage?
Well, already 25% of respondents would not eat wall sausage.
I think they're lying. You know what I mean? It's like the bottom line is if you're in Belgium and you are drinking beer. We've all been there, right?
I've never been to Belgium.
No.
But I've been drinking beer.
You've been drinking beer, and then you get hungry. You need your drunk food. You just feel it in your belly. Like, man, I need to put something in my stomach, right?
Yeah.
We've all been there before. And the only option you have is a big hunk of sausage on the wall. And they're going to slice it off that wall, put it on a plate, put some mustard on a plate, and there you go. You're going to tell me you're not going to dive into that hunk of meat?
No, 100% going to.
I'm all in. I mean, 1,000,000%. Like, in this moment right now, if you said, Matt, there's this new technology and you can teleport anywhere in the world. Now, I'm not telling you this would be my #1 preferred destination in the world. Like, if you could only go to one place and you could only use the teleport thing one time, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be this. But in this moment, if you said, Matt, you could teleport it, I would be so fired up to go right now to Belgium, be in that bar Lee was talking about, to get me a beer in one of those mugs he was talking about, and to eat wall sausage.
I'm shocked. I've never heard of wall sausage before.
I'm not shocked. I mean, wouldn't you have had to have gone to Belgium to hear about wall sausage?
If it's as good as Lee says it is, you'd think it would branch out a little bit.
No, it doesn't mean it's a good thing. It's just a cultural thing you do there. That's like, do you think people in Belgium are super aware of what boudin is? Probably not, with something we all know here.
What about wall boudin?
Is there anywhere in Louisiana that serves wall boudin?
I don't think so. We tend to refrigerate our foods on the side.
But after you prepare boudin, you don't refrigerate it. You just eat it. It's out there on the plate. You don't put it on the plate?
Yeah, but I'm just saying if it's
dish or something.
We don't hang it on the wall either, though, for like days at a time.
Well, what's to
They
say
do,
it's
they
there
do a
for
better
days?
job of curing their meats.
What's to say it's hanging on the wall for days?
They do a better job of curing their meats.
What if it's gone in 10 minutes, Brain?
Then they're putting more up on the wall.
That's my point. It's not just hanging there for days. You just eat the sausage. If it's the only option everyone in that place has, everyone's eating the sausage. I don't think you're thinking this all the way through.
I think you're thinking this too far.
Give me my poll results here, Brain. I got to have them. I got to have poll results.
We're up to 50%. Only 6 people have voted so far. I just put it up heading into the last break. Put up the Citizens Bank poll question. It's 50-50.
We got 6 votes.
We get 6 votes and 2 votes a minute.
I'll
We're
tell
good.
you what. Text me at 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 225-396-4400. Tell me if you would eat wall sausage. David Benoit, wall sausage sounds like something from the movie Porky's. What's the movie Porky's, Brain?
Early 80s. It was a chance to see topless women for no reason. It was gratuitous nudity in that movie.
You enjoyed it?
No, it was a bad movie.
I meant the nudity.
Oh, well, yeah.
Cameron Cook, he would eat wall sausage. Tony Z, James Delaney. Alvin Cooper is expletive-ridden in his emphatic nature, saying that he would, in fact, eat wall sausage.
That's a lot of eagerness to eat wall sausage, though.
I mean, he said, F yeah, I'll eat wall sausage with, with an exclamation point.
Wow.
Ron Zarang, all in with the wall sausage.
Okay, can we have follow-up texts?
Okay.
What's the weirdest bar food you've ever eaten? Because I think if you get a few other answers in there, wall sausage, we can normalize wall sausage very quickly.
I mean, this is unanimous. They're all saying they would. Mike Wallet said, I think I'm part Belgium. New poll question, Brain. What percentage of our audience does not get why that is wrong? You know, I wanted to spend this segment talking about Les Miles' legacy.
Is he part Belgium?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? I mean, I was trying to transition into something kind of serious.
Yeah, sorry.
That's how we do it in Belgium. Called it a Belgian dip. All right. I had intended in this segment to talk and ask you about Les Miles' legacy. We were in hour one supposed to talk to Ross Dellinger from SI, formerly, of course, the LSU beat writer for The Advocate, who was Ross was, I'm comfortable saying Ross is the best reporter that's ever covered LSU. I mean, he went from The Advocate to Sports Illustrated. That doesn't really usually happen. Usually you go from like the mid-sized market to like a larger market, then maybe to like a top 10 market, and then maybe to, you know, a network, a national publication. Ross went from Baton Rouge to SI. Like, he did incredible work. There's no other way around. He was an amazing reporter. And even by his own admission in his column at SI, he said, look, I was negligent too. I thought I was doing a really good job, and I missed this. Les is out at Kansas. He'll never coach again. Great coaches will often get second and third chances. Bobby Petrino had his misgivings. He got another chance because he was still a young coach who was still innovative and could win. Same with Hugh Freeze. He had his missteps, obviously, at Ole Miss, paid dearly for it. He's gotten an opportunity at Liberty and is making the most of it, and good on him. There's other coaches who have had those situations. Look, Quinn Snyder is a head coach in the NBA with the team with the best record in the league. It does happen where coaches get multiple chances. Specifically with Les here, though, I don't think that's coming because he's 67 years old. The offense is antiquated. I don't know that anybody would think that he's a guy that could rebuild a program at this point. Any athletic director would trust him, especially at this point, given the allegations against him. So, Les's time is done as a coach. But I am interested. I am definitely interested in hearing Les Miles' side. And before you roll your eyes and say, come on, Matt, I want to be very clear. I am not exonerating Les Miles. I'm not saying nothing happened. What I'm saying is I'm willing to hear what he has to say. Not about the culture, because clearly the culture within the football program in the athletic department is something that he was overseeing and was horribly afoul. I'm talking about the specific allegations against him. He denies them. He denies wrongdoing. Members of the Board of Supervisors, including Bobby Yarbrough, who last week spoke on the record to Brooks Cabina, said it was the right decision not to fire Les at the time, given the information we had. I'm curious just to hear what he has to say. In the same way, and by the way, it's not going to say that I'm going to be, what he has to say is something that I'm going to be okay with, his explanation. In the same way that when the first USA Today report came out and there were inconsistencies, I said, I'm willing to wait and hear both sides and everything that comes out. And what came out Friday was pretty apparent. Everything that had been reported and more was true about the culture at LSU. But Les is a guy that won 80% of his games, won a national title, played for another, won a couple of SEC titles, played for another. And is all of that now gone? Maybe. If not, he's got a hell of a reclamation project on his hands. It's been done. I'll remind you, Mike Tyson spent time in federal prison for raping a woman. Laid low for a while. Had a tiger on The Hangover, punched a guy, and now he's beloved. It's weird. Mike Tyson's a rapist. A beloved rapist. Weird. After further review. Man, we are late. I apologize for this. We got to grab our final break here of hour number 2. Come back, Tigers and the Pros. It's going to be a quick segment. Stick around.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. Darren shared a book with me one time called Be Our Guest. It's about the culture at Walt Disney World and how Disney theme park employees, their charge is to make sure that every child at the theme park has an amazing time. For example, if an employee sees a child drop an ice cream cone, you should go get a replacement cone for free and give it to that child because it's all about the experience. Those are the types of principles, as odd as it may sound when you're thinking about real estate, those are the types of principles that Darren instills and injects into his company. Do you realize that everyone who buys a home with Darren, he throws a party for them, a housewarming party for them and 20 of their closest family and friends for free? Just another way that Darren gives exceptional customer service. Buying or selling. Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Think real estate. Think Darren James.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Pearl has the best oysters in Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made them?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, doing this only at 2 minutes. Let's go quick. Brain, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
DJ LeMahieu went 1 for 3 today. No, sir. No. LeMahieu hitting 357 in this spring training. 1 for 3 today. Excuse me. Jake Fraley, 1 for 2 on the day and scored a run. Fraley is continuing to get at-bats for the Mariners. And also in the major leagues today, Kramer Robertson pinch hit in the Cardinals loss to the Mets. Kramer did walk in that pinch hit.
He's going to make his debut this year. It's going to be cool.
I think so.
I don't think so. He is. He's going to make his debut.
Okay. Good to know. He has no batting average right now, but has an on-base percentage of 500.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. One other one going literally around the world to the Chinese Basketball Association. Justin Hamilton had 14 points for the Beijing Ducks yesterday. Wasn't enough, though, as the Ducks fall to the Flying Dragons 109-98. And that's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
Kentucky's Best Hemp. Use the promo code AFR30, 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 and get 30% off your order. At
KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com.
There's a guy who works at the Ranch Film Studio in Chalmette. His name is Justin Hamilton. And I asked the owner at the ranch, is that Justin Hamilton who played basketball at LSU? He said, I don't think so. Well, now I think we know. It's not the same Justin Hamilton, but shout out anyway.
AFR.
Brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned. In Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. I got reminded over the weekend of why I am so happy to be driving a Volkswagen. Had a friend who was in a bad car accident and thankfully was in a very safe vehicle. And that very safe vehicle very likely saved their life. And I think about that every time I get in the car with Drew. And Erica's driving a Volkswagen Atlas as well, because Volkswagens are among the safest vehicles on the road. If you're a parent and you need peace of mind when you're putting your kid in a vehicle, your child in a vehicle for the first time, either as a passenger or if they're driving for the first time, there are safe, affordable options that are pretty stylish as well in the Volkswagen line. New, certified pre-owned, 9 different IIHS top safety picks. southpointvw.com.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
At Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, you can get a Corolla with 0% financing or buy it for $19,158. That's 0% financing. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Callahan Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news. ESPN's Jenna Lane reporting the Buccaneers are re-signing linebacker Levante David to a 2-year, $25 million contract
$20 million guaranteed. The Packers did not tag running back Aaron Jones before today's franchise tag deadline. Green Bay has one more shot to retain him before free agency. They do have exclusive negotiating rights with Jones until Monday, when unrestricted free agents can start talking with other organizations. Jones isn't the only running back on the Packers' minds, notes ESPN's Adam Schefter.
They are willing to roll the dice and to gamble on losing Aaron Jones. And keep in mind, Aaron Jones is a free agent. Jamal Williams is a free agent. So they could lose both backs, and A.J. Dillon suddenly would be thrust into the starting role in Green Bay's backfield as Aaron Rodgers' #1 running back.
Adam Schefter on Chiney Ogwumike and Mike Golick Jr. Yankees left-hander Zach Britton in line for surgery to remove a bone chip from his left elbow. The team will provide a timeline after his surgery.
We're back on Wednesday. Jimmy G had the 49ers in the Super Bowl just a year ago. We'll tell you if he can get them back, or will it be a different quarterback? Keyshawn, J. Will, and Zubin, Wednesday morning on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
The Brain.
And the brain got a poop.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. We'll go out to the box in about 30 minutes. LSU and Texas Southern. Matt Trent of WBRZ will be with us to give us a scene setter of the game. Ross Dellinger of Sports Illustrated joins us now on AFR. Ross, thanks for the time. How are you?
Good, Matt. How you doing?
Good. I would imagine you and I probably, our days are filled with much of the same right now. But you had a column which caught my attention. You covered Les Miles. You were very close to him during his time here and then after. And you didn't pull any punches with your disappointment and, I guess to a degree, I don't want to put words in your mouth, surprise at what happened and what has come to light. Let me just start hearing it from you, your reaction to the story involving LSU as it involves Les Miles.
Yeah. I spent about 5 years as a beat writer there for The Advocate from late 2013 to just before the 2018 season, and was pretty close to a lot of people there in the program, and certainly, didn't see a ton of this coming, and was close to got close to Les Miles after his firing. Went up there in Kansas and saw him and wrote about him, and so to find out and learn a lot of this stuff, was a little unsettling. And I don't usually throw out a lot of punches. I'm not a columnist necessarily. Don't write a lot of opinion pieces, but that one called for one. I think based on my relationship with people both at the school and Les Miles.
What's been the reaction to it?
A lot of reaction, a lot of emails, a lot of direct messages, certainly some text messages. I think from those in the media industry, the reaction's been good and all that. I think overall the reaction's been good actually, but there are here and there. There's been people who think that, I don't know, just first of all, just think I should have known, which I wrote in the story. It feels like I should have known being so close, and a lot of us maybe should have known, but But the reaction has overall been pretty positive.
You write about being F-bombed by LSU administrators and monthly filing public records requests and being as aggressive a reporter as has ever been around here. And Ross, I mean, you weren't here last hour when I said it, but I think you're the best reporter that's ever covered LSU, certainly since I've been around. It's the reason that you went from The Advocate to Sports Illustrated, which in our industry just doesn't happen. So it's a testament to you. But as you look back on that time when you were the guy on the beat, what could you have done differently? What should you have known?
Well, I got there in November 2013, and all of this stuff happened in the spring and summer of 2013, so a few months before I arrived. And there was still no buzz about it. I remember getting there and just, I don't specifically remember what I heard, but it was, settlement, Les Miles girl. That was, there was a little buzz about that. And maybe I should have, because I remember asking around, and I guess I should have asked around more. But there were just a handful of people that knew. I mean, as few as 8, and they kept it very secret, it sounds like. And certainly the people that I spoke to regularly at LSU didn't know the specifics of it. But, yeah, I don't know what I could have done. I guess I should have records requested stuff before I got there. Probably that's probably what I should have immediately done. And that's a lesson in journalism that before you get on a beat to records request things that did happen before you got there. Maybe not 5 years before you got there, but the last preceding months. And maybe I would have got that email from Joe Oliva that he sent to some of the board members. So I think about that. Maybe I could have done that. But clearly they kept this under wraps completely. And I just spoke to one of the people in that small group that kept it under wraps. And it's certainly, as I called it in that column last week, a kind of a dark secret. And I think it's somewhat embarrassing for some of those people in Baton Rouge who knew and who didn't say anything for so many years.
I think it's embarrassing for them, Ross. I think it's probably more embarrassing for people who didn't. There were, no doubt, there were. I don't mind disclosing. There are board members that I know that were like, "How did we not know?" So, there were high-ranking people at LSU that did not know this. I think it's embarrassing all the way around.
Oh yeah, and in that column last week, I reached out to a few former board members who are no longer on the board and were on the board at the time though, and they were, they're beside themselves that they were kept out of the loop and kept in the dark.
Ross Dellinger is with us, Sports Illustrated, on Twitter at RossDellingerSI.com. The interesting thing, though, to me, Ross, and I've said this for several days now, really since the Les story leaked on Thursday, Ross, this really isn't big picture. It's not a Les Miles story. Les Miles wasn't the focus of this Hush Blackwell inquiry. It's just through that investigation, these 2013 allegations popped up. But that wasn't the focus of it. How broad in the scope of intercollegiate athletics, meaning Baylor, Michigan State, Penn State, how broad is this story being received? We know what it's doing here. What about nationally?
Well, you're right about the Les Miles stuff, that it wasn't necessarily the primary thing in the report, but it certainly overshadowed all the other stuff, which I'm sure in a way people at LSU liked, that their inadequacies with reporting and handling sexual misconduct complaints was overshadowed by really two former employees, right, Joe Oliva and Les Miles. But that's, of course, saying that Les Miles was at the time of the report an active Power 5 head coach. That's what steals the national headlines. That's kind of the big news, especially the fact that the former AD wanted to fire him or recommended firing him in 2013. But I think you're right. There probably needs to be nationally more attention on the inadequacies that happened at LSU in the Title IX office and the athletic department and all of the things that happened. I don't know that it stacks up. You mentioned the Baylor case. With Baylor, you had proven actual evidence that multiple people in the football offices and coaches knew about some heinous, serious acts that multiple athletes were alleged against them, and so I think the breadth of it is much bigger. But certainly on the national scene, people do lump them together, and they have. I don't think this situation went to the kind of the depths of the Baylor situation. But to me, and we talked about Les Miles a lot, to me, when it comes to LSU, there are things in that report that we're at, 80, 90% maybe of other universities around the nation, and those administrators would be fired. And I'm not saying that should happen. And sometimes we live in the whole cancel kind of culture that we live in, where it's fire them immediately. Sometimes firing somebody isn't the right move and is not going to solve anything. So I'm not saying they should have been fired, but I can tell you that 70-80% of colleges around the nation, if a report will come out and include some of the things that were included in that one, those administrators probably would be fired. And that didn't happen here, and that's why probably we saw, some of the student protests yesterday and things like that. And part of the reason administrators weren't fired probably is because at the very top of the athletic department, then Joe Oliva gave a directive to report all, Title IX stuff, allegations to Miriam Seeger, an associate AD, and not the Title IX coordinator. So in a way, it was an out for everybody to say, see, we were told to report it this way when they should have been reporting it to the Title IX coordinator. In a lot of ways, Joe Oliva came out looking good in that report because he recommended Les be fired in 2013 for the complaints and the misconduct and the sexualizing the football women's student worker staff. But in the other way, he basically broke, in a lot of ways, and attorneys have told me, he kind of broke the law.
Yes.
He directed his employees to report Title IX cases, around the Title IX coordinator. And so that's probably why a lot of administrators at LSU are not fired, because they were directed by the former AD to do things this way, even though it wasn't the right way.
I, for one, am stunned that the guy who oversaw the Duke lacrosse scandal could somehow tell every employee, hey, break federal law when you report these things. Continues to display why he's the worst athletic director I think any of us have ever seen. Before you go, what is next? Because it doesn't seem like this is over.
No, it doesn't. Probably a better question for USA Today reporters, because they've been doing an incredible job of investigative reporting on it all. And I am assuming that they're not done. My fascination with all of this, in my sources and connections still at LSU are obviously connected to the Les Miles stuff. And that is continuing in the news. Today you saw Jeff Long give a press conference and give more details on the Les Miles stuff. And later today, within the hour probably, there'll be a story on SI that hopefully will shed a little more light on what happened in 2013. It's not some big, long, deep dive story, but it is have some comments from a person who was one of those who made the decision to not fire Les Miles back in 2013.
Okay. SI.com. Make sure you follow him on Twitter at Ross Dellinger. Always good to chat. Wish it was on under better circumstances, but what it is. Appreciate you, man. Be well.
All right. Thanks, Matt.
That is Ross Dellinger on Twitter at Ross Dellinger, and read his stuff at SI.com. So Ross just said there that he's had a conversation with someone who was part of a very small group of people who knew of the allegations against Les in 2013 and made the decision not to fire Les back in 2013. Ross did not give that person's name or anything further, but we'll look forward to that on SI.com, as Ross said here within the hour. It's After Further Review, brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com, changing lives. GMFS Mortgage, when they say they're changing lives, they mean it so many ways. Of course, financially. When you talk about lowering your monthly mortgage payment, refinancing your mortgage, lowering your monthly mortgage payment, shortening the life of your mortgage, skipping multiple mortgage payments like I did, GMFS Mortgage. Also, for every loan they close, they make a donation in the borrower's name to Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center, changing lives. And GMFS Mortgage, their Go Local campaign right now, they're supporting local businesses and giving you an opportunity to win your share of $10,000 worth of Visa gift cards through May. Log on to gmfsmortgage.com to learn more. GMFS Mortgage, GMFS Mortgage, changing lives. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're hanging out with us here. We will head to Alec Box Stadium about 15 minutes. Tigers an hour and 15 minutes away from first pitch. LSU and Texas Southern from the box. Matt Trent of WBRZ will be with us to give us a scene setter from the box. Also, Otterlock still to come, what we learned. When we come back, though, Will Wade had his coaches show last evening and is preparing his team to head to Nashville for the SEC tournament. Give you a little of what Will Wade had to say, and the coaches' all-SEC team revealed today. We'll talk some hoop when we come back on AFR.
AFR.
If you need dinner plans tonight, you know Ichiban is always a great option, voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. And from our friends at Ichiban, their latest success, their latest knock-it-out-the-park home run is an authentic Japanese dining experience, Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. Now, you know where Electric Depot is. If you're at I-110 and you're heading east on Government Street, it's maybe a quarter mile on the left. Big red brick building. You can't miss it. Bo-Ru has an awesome ambiance. Indoor-outdoor dining. They've even got a beautiful courtyard area. It is pet-friendly outdoors as well. If you want to have a great, enjoy this beautiful weather, maybe you want a hot bowl of ramen, some of their spectacular appetizers, or you're looking for a place for a cool vibe, some live music on the weekends, or to have a great cocktail. They have Asian-inspired cocktails. They have craft beer, top-shelf liquor. It's at Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. The noodles are handmade. Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m. Right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7, The Tiger.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the diehard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans that do the most. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge brings you the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week. Check it out at 1045ESPN.com, the Citizens Bank Fan of the Week.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, we'll go to Alec Buck Stadium in about 10 minutes from right now. SEC coaches, all SEC team announced today. 3 Tigers have been honored. Yesterday we told you about the USA Today all SEC team. Today is the coaches team. So Cam Thomas made the first team, and Trendon Watford and Javonte Smart, second team all SEC. It was Cam Thomas and Trendon Watford on the first team by USA Today. Javonte Smart, a second teamer. But congrats to the same 3 guys. Smart, Watford on the second team, Cam Thomas on the first team. Cam also named freshman All-SEC. And maybe if there was one thing that caught me a little off guard, it's that Moses Moody was named SEC Freshman of the Year. Nate Oates of Alabama Coach of the Year. Herbert Jones from Alabama Player of the Year. J.D. Notae from Arkansas, 6th man. Herbert Jones from Bama, the Defensive Player of the Year as well. Dylan Disu from Vanderbilt, Scholar Athlete of the Year. But Freshman of the Year went to Moses Moody of Arkansas. And I guess maybe I can understand when you have a guy who's best player, but I guess they weren't the best team, but second best team. And they did have a great season, obviously. And Moses Moody was terrific. And Cam Thomas was 4th in America in scoring. 23.1 points per game, a full 6 points more per game than Moses Moody. Moody did average 2 rebounds more per game. Moody, 1.8 assists. Cam Thomas, 1.4 assists. So that's basically what. Moody was fantastic, and it is somewhat splitting hairs. But when you have a guy that's the 4th leading scorer in America, and he's not your league's freshman of the year, it's a bit of an outlier. But congrats to Cam Thomas, Javonte Smart, and Trendon Watford, all on their All-SEC honors. They will take their roster up to Nashville Friday. LSU will play the winner of South Carolina and Ole Miss, which will play on Thursday. And Will Wade is going to have to do something that he hasn't done in his time in Baton Rouge. It's win a game in the SEC tournament. And as amazing as it is, the 3 consecutive double-digit win seasons in the SEC, the 3 consecutive top 4 seeds with the double bye, this would be the 3rd consecutive year in the NCAA tournament. They've never won an SEC tournament game under Will Wade. Here was Will Wade talking about plans for this week in advance of the SEC tournament.
You know, we've been pretty banged up. We've been very banged up the last couple weeks. And so yesterday we got some treatment and we did some massages and things like that. Today we got more treatment and rested and took today off from basketball. And then tomorrow we'll get back on the court, do some film work. Wednesday we'll work on ourselves. And then Thursday we'll kind of start honing in on Mississippi and South Carolina. And then obviously once we find out late Thursday night who we're playing, we'll finish up the prep on Friday.
One of the things Will also said on his coach's show that was a little surprising to me is he mentioned Cam Thomas with a sprained ankle. Now, Cam Thomas sprained that ankle against Ole Miss. That was back on January the 9th. Today's March 9th. 2 months ago today is when Cam Thomas sprained his ankle against Ole Miss. And he's continued to play the entire season. We thought that he would miss the next game. We thought he'd sit out. And I'll be damned, he got right back out there, got on the horse, and never missed a game. So I guess because he's continued to play at a high level and fourth in the country in scoring, to some degree, we've just ignored the question about his ankle since he's continued playing. But Will was pretty honest in saying that Cam Thomas is pretty banged up. He's battled that ankle injury all year. He's toughed it out, and he's continued to perform. But a few days off right now will be a good thing for Cam Thomas, certainly. You heard Will also mention Ole Miss or South Carolina. And that's tough because, you got to go through this week not knowing who you're going to play on Friday. So to a certain degree, the advantage you have is mitigated. Yes, you get an extra day's rest and you have to play a team that's playing back-to-back days. So that is a benefit to you. But not knowing who your opponent is going to be makes it more difficult to prepare. We'll talk a little bit about that last night on his coach's show.
The good part of if we can make it to Saturday is we've played Arkansas and Missouri in the last week. The difficult part about the South Carolina and Ole Miss is it's been 2 months since we've played either one of them. Now, we did prepare for Ole Miss, 3 weeks ago when the ice storm hit. We thought we were going to play them, and then we weren't able to play them with the ice storm. But what you do is you try to find some commonalities between the two. Now, both of them are playing some zone now, so we need to work on some 2-3 zone offense. Ole Miss still plays the 1-3-1, so we're going to have to work against the 1-3-1. That's the sort of things. You got to find out what they both do that they have in common, and then one or two things that each of them do that kind of go against your conventional wisdom or go against your conventional scheme where you've got to do some different things. And you don't want to just show up and try to do those different things on game day. That makes it really difficult. You've got to practice those and worked on those. That's what we'll spend a majority of our time on.
The odd thing about that matchup, whoever it is, Ole Miss, South Carolina, is on paper, you look at South Carolina and you go, man, they're 4-12 in the league. Of course, you'd rather play South Carolina. Ole Miss is 10-8 in the league. They've had some really nice wins this year. But LSU went to Oxford and blew out Ole Miss without Cam Thomas. That was never close. On the flip side, LSU was at home against South Carolina, who did not have Frank Martin. If you remember, Frank Martin stayed in Columbia because of COVID protocols. Did not have Frank Martin, came into Baton Rouge, took the fight to LSU, and LSU had to hang on for an 85-80 win against a team that flatly can't score. The good news is LSU was able to score against a really good defensive team, which is what Frank Martin's built that roster around, that program around at South Carolina. But Carolina wasn't supposed to score. I mean, that was in the midst of LSU's defensive woes, put up 80. Carolina can't put up 80 on LSU. So that spooks you a little bit because on paper you'd say, I'd rather play Carolina. They're 4-12. But they gave you the better game. So maybe the matchup to some degree, you'd rather take on Ole Miss in this ball game. But either way, LSU's going to have to wait until Thursday night to see who they play because when you look at the bracket, Ole Miss and South Carolina is going to be the final game Thursday. So when that game goes final, then we'll learn who LSU will play on Friday night. And then that game is scheduled for an 8 o'clock Central Time tip, but these things always run late, so it's unlikely that LSU is going to tip that game at 8. But it'll be a late night on Friday for LSU against either South Carolina or Ole Miss. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're brought to you by our friends over at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. A lot of people have been noticing, I mean, if you're watching the show, you can tell that I've lost weight. I'm down 18 pounds in about 5 weeks. It's been incredible. Ideal protein diet. If you are, food tastes good. I am not hungry. It takes discipline. But if you want to lose the weight and get ready for beach and pool season this spring, it's a great opportunity to do it with the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. They will waive the initial consult if you just mention the show at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Maybe it's hormone replacement therapy, body contouring like VeloShape and UltraShape. Maybe it's, if it's not hormone replacement therapy, maybe it's things like Botox or laser hair removal, whatever to get yourself looking and feeling your best for coming beach and pool season. The Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana can help. Blue Bond in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. Okay, y'all, it's after further review. A couple things left to do here in this final half hour of the show. Glad you're hanging out. If you missed anything, if you missed Ross Dellinger, if you missed Larry Holder in hour one, the big news of the day, if you haven't heard yet, the Saints did, in fact, use the franchise tag on safety Marcus Williams. That added about $10.5 million to the salary cap burden for New Orleans. So They had gotten it all the way down to about $44 million. It's back up to over $55 million now, the salary cap commitments for New Orleans. They've locked up Marcus Williams for at least a year. They've bought themselves some time to extend him and lower that cap number, but it's unlikely it happens before the start of the league year. So the Saints with tremendous work still to do to get below the salary cap number for next week whenever free agency begins with the start of the league year. So, take a deep breath. Tons of work to do for the New Orleans Saints, but Marcus Williams is going to be in the black and gold, that much we know. Purple and gold, back on the diamond tonight, out the box. We'll get a scene setter with Matt Trent of WBRZ next.
AFR.
March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Colon cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among men and women in the United States. And 60% of colorectal cancer deaths could have been prevented with a screening. So, the Baton Rouge General Hospital is urging you to get screened. brgeneral.org/get-screened. brgeneral.org/get-screened. There's a lot of myths about colonoscopy. Everyone used to say they didn't want to do it because they had all that prep involved. We got to drink that chalky, thick substance. That's actually changed a lot. Prep has come a long way, and there's new options that really aren't that bad. It's not a fun topic to talk about, but it is a necessary topic to discuss. Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org/get-screened, brgeneral.org/get-screened.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service. HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
At Cornell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA, you can get a Corolla with 0% financing or buy.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Baseball at the Box returns inside of an hour away from first pitch. Matt Trent, WBRZ Television. Good enough to join us from out at the Box. Matt, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
How are you, sir? Doing good.
Hey, inside of an hour, still no lineup posted on Twitter. Maybe you can help. Has Paul Maneri posted the lineup for tonight yet?
Yeah, I actually just saw it. I think Wilson Alexander posted something. K. Doty is going to be back in the lineup. From what I've seen, he's going to bat third and play third. It looks like they're going to move Jordan Thompson to short, and Zach Arnold is going to play second, stay at second tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one puzzler there. I like Paul Maneri said yesterday, they were going to move Kate around and swing him a bat and see if he could do well. So everything must have, been good enough to clear him. I don't know about third. I would have, after the throwing issues with Zach Arnold this weekend, I would have kind of pushed him to second just so he can get kind of more limber. But yeah, that's a little bit of a head scratcher for me too.
I'm looking at it here. Cruz, Morgan, Doty, Beloso, Dugas, Drost, Arnold, Wyeth, Thompson. Is Wyeth catching just to give Milazzo a night off?
Probably, yeah, just to get him some more reps, especially against a team like Texas Southern, who's probably not going to provide a lot of blowback. They've got 3 wins on the year, but all 3 of those wins came this weekend in a sweep against Prairie View, so they're hot. But I mean, it's Texas Southern.
I'm looking here. Doty playing third isn't a big surprise to me. Moving Arnold over to second and Thompson to short is a little bit of a surprise. I thought that would be an opportunity to get Will Safford some run at second base. I'm a little has Paul mentioned anything about that, about changing personnel and not necessarily just flip-flopping roles in the infield?
Yeah, I mean, he mentioned it yesterday. He didn't go into a whole lot of specifics, but he did say he was going to have to change the infield. For me, though, the reason why it's a head-scratcher for me to put Doty at third is that when you've got a guy who, yes, he's been cleared to play, but, that back hasn't been tested in game action. And third is a position where it's not like short, where you've got a lot of time for the ball to get on you, and you have to be quick, but those fast-twitch muscles don't have to be as quick as you are on third. So lateral movement and making really short, quick movements, that could maybe flare that back up a little bit should he have something hit to him where he'd have to dive or make a quick movement at third. That's the only thing that I worry about with him playing a position like that, where you've got to be quick, you've got to make a lot of fast movements, and that back, I mean, it might be 100%, he might be ready to go, but Jordan Thompson at short, yeah, I mean, he's got the range probably and the athletic ability to do that, but I still, like Zach Arnold had some throws this weekend where they were like 10-foot throws, easy routine plays, and he almost airmailed them 3 rows into the stand. So that's kind of, I get you got to keep him in there because of the bat and whatnot, but that's the one strange thing where maybe you DH him, kind of give him a night off with the glove and just let him hit. But yeah, overall, those are only the 3 big the changes in the infield thus far.
Scene setter out there at the box?
Well, in the interest of transparency, Matt, I'm actually on the bridge in traffic heading back from Brule.
So you're not there yet. Can you see it? Can you see it from the bridge?
That's what I was getting ready to say. From here, it looks glorious.
No, good. Good. Scene setter, of course, from the bridge, not from the box here for Matt Trent. Any idea also what Paul Maneri is expecting from Javen Coleman?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think he's going to go out, and again, you've got a team like Texas Southern, so you're not going to expect the guys to come up there and be aggressive. This should be, a whole night. I kind of want to see how far, Paul will let him go. Is he going to let him just go 5 innings and save him for the weekend, with some solid teams coming in, or do you kind of keep him no normal outing and let him go 6, 7, maybe in a complete game if he wants to? Who knows? But I think, this is a game where he could rack up double-digit strikeout numbers. I mean, this team doesn't hit very well, but
We said the same thing about Oral Roberts, bro. Slow down.
But yeah, but going back to this weekend, Matt, about Oral Roberts is if you look up and down that lineup, yeah, I know the casual baseball fan is going to be shocked by that, but Oral Roberts had a lot of upperclassmen, and they had a lot of Big 12 and SEC transfers on that team. So these dudes came out, and they thought everybody looked on paper and were like, Jaden Hill's going to blow 98 by them every single at bat. And they squared some balls up, obviously, from an 8-run first inning and an 11-run fourth and 22 runs overall. Like, they squared some balls up. So it was really, for some of those guys, they had seen that their entire career playing, at the TCUs and Arkansas of the world. So I just think that this weekend, I was more concerned with having the game LSU had on Saturday where you go out and blow the doors off of them 12-0, and then you come back and you have that debacle that you had on Sunday, where I think that you saw the experience of Oral Roberts versus the inexperienced youth of LSU. They put pressure on the defense, they put balls in play, and they made really smart base running moves, and LSU wasn't ready for them. And poor Will Helmers, I think that kid is just having a doozy of a start to a season, and I think got overwhelmed a little bit on Sunday, made the bad throw, and I think that was just youth versus experience.
Opportunity to get right. 6 games in 8 days. A grind starts now before LSU hits conference play. Matt Trent, WBRZ. Thanks, man.
No problem.
All right, enjoy the game tonight. It is after further review. Love telling you about our friends over at mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net. Air purifiers, NASA technology, clinically proven to eliminate the virus that causes COVID-19, including dozens of other pathogens. I've told you about places like Pluckers and Finbom. So many Raffinos, so many restaurants and other doctor's offices all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Found out today that St. Jude's School in Baton Rouge is implementing this technology in every classroom and throughout their school, which is awesome. So if you're a parent, you can rest assured that your kid is going to school in the safest environment possible. mycleanliving.net, mycleanliving.net. From the mobile unit, which is $199, that can service up to 500 square feet, to the Air and Surface Pro, which can service up to 3,000 square feet. Large spaces or small, you want to eliminate odors, purify the air and surfaces, clean the building and the areas that you inhabit. The Fresh Air Mobile, that is the one I have right here on the desk. It's about the size of a cell phone. mycleanliving.net, and they do have financing available as well if that's an option that you need. mycleanliving.net. Check them out, mycleanliving.net. All right, it's after further review. We will wrap up with Honor Locks and what we learned next on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Stay here.
AFR.
All right, you got baseball at the box tonight. Where are you watching? How about Pluckers? Nicholson just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Tuesday kids eat free. Oh, you didn't know that? Well, you should, because I've been telling you for years. But that's okay. Either location, kids eat free on Tuesday. So maybe you get the family out, you go to Pluckers, you have a night out. It's affordable. It tastes great. It's fun. You'll have LSU baseball at the box on TV, and also college basketball tournaments. You got NCAA basketball tournament action every night. Championship week is in full force. If you want to watch NCAA tournament action and LSU baseball and eat wings and drink beer, the best place to do that is at Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus, Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Maybe you're heading out to the box. After the game, swing on into Pluckers, watch the late night basketball games, have some wings, drink some beer. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine in, carry out. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. And if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Pearl has the best oysters in Baton Rouge.
Cool on that.
The moment you realize something is truly luxury is the moment you put it to use. Purchase or lease a new Infiniti QX80 online today with Infiniti Now.
Visit Infiniti of Baton Rouge at 13540 Airline Highway or online at InfinityBR.com.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a...
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Brain, please update the poll question if you would, my friend.
Happy to update the poll question, the Citizens Bank poll question. It looks like the nays are out in front here. The Citizens Bank poll question of the day, as I scroll through it here. Would you eat wall sausage? 38% say yes, they would eat wall sausage. 61% say no. 61.3% to 38.7%.
On the text line, Steve Savoy, Tony Z, Mark Villanueva, Alban Cooper, Ron Zarang, Philip Scardina, Travis Arsenault, Jamie Tanner, Heath Simcoe, LM, Dustin Arsenault, JB, Cody Efferson, Michael Moore, Carl Alexander, Jake Cruz, Gerald Mathern, Darren Borch, Alan Thomas, Jonathan Rayburn, Jason Aguilar, Chad Schaefer, Wade Walker, Jeremy Barbe, Allison Alonso, Holger Heap, Raymond Moore, Robert Anderson, Ivan Lake, Doug Stubbs, Hunter Mariushak, Paul Batch, Joey Edwards, Brett Allen, Greg Lehman, Wayne Como, Stephen Jacobs, Spencer Clark, Blake Lockwood, Ian Shaw, Dixon McMakin, Danny Riggs, Dan Sinetz. There might have been some more. All of them said they would eat wall sausage. There was only one who said no. His name was Ronnie Hebert.
Did I hear a Greg LeMond in there?
No, it's Leman. I don't know if it's Lamont or Lehman or Lehman. I don't know. I don't really care. Sure, he's a great guy, though. Jimmy Ott joins us. One thing left to do. It's time to find out what we're betting on tonight. It's Otter Locks. Otter Locks?
Otter Locks.
Otter Locks. So hard to get good help, Otter. What are you going to do?
Oh, man, look. I feel you, bro. Feel you. Come on, Frank.
Otter's out of Mike Anderson's tonight. All right, man. Got some basketball tonight. What are we betting on?
A little Pepperdine last night. Snuck that one in. But
Cleveland State, never in doubt. Told you.
that was a wild game, man. Look, that whole sequence with about a minute to go when Wisconsin-Milwaukee's up 1. The guy loses the ball in the backcourt. The guy dunks it and gets fouled.
It was a great punch ahead, though.
One range to the other, man. Either you're just disgusted or you're.
They blew him out, Otter. There's a minute left in the game. They boat raced him from that point.
They sure did. But no, I mean, it's a winner. And actually, it's the only game that I'm even looking at tonight because sometimes when that one seed gets that scare, and they got away. They dodged a bullet last night.
Yeah.
They kind of come back a little bit more focused the following night. So I do not like the card. I've got some stuff. I'm out of town the rest of the week, so Annie's over the coaching carousel tomorrow and things like that. But I got some picks for the conference tournaments for you.
All right.
I don't get upset with this one, but LSU Ole Miss. I get Ole Miss just walking over South Carolina in the first round. LSU Ole Miss is going to be a tight game. The line's going to be about 3.5. LSU's 5-1 to win the tournament. Ole Miss is 40-1. Okay, get Ole Miss to the semifinals, and I'm in a hedge position like no other. So I know it's unpopular around here. Nancy didn't pay me to say this, but Ole Miss at 40-1 is ridiculous right there. UConn plus 210 in the Big East. Book night back 6-0-1 against the spread. His Creighton coach has been reinstated, but I don't know if what kind of distraction that has been. I do think that gives them a better chance to have McDermott on the bench than just suspended for good or whatever, or released from his job. But I like UConn. They're playing great right now. Of course, we know Colin Gillespie and another starting guard is out for Villanova. So UConn plus 210 in the Big East. A bomb in the Pac-12. Larry Krystkowiak, Utah Utes are playing better ball right now. 30-1. Going to take a swing on them. Georgia Tech at 10-1 in the ACC. And Ohio State plus $7 in the Big Ten. So we're going with some bombs in the conference tournament. Hit one and we dance.
All right, Otter. And if you hit none, you lose a bunch of money.
If Ole Miss gets to the semis, we will cover everything and then some. Right?
Wait, so it's 40-1 for Ole Miss just to get to the semis?
No, to win it. To win it. But if you get to the semis, then Arkansas will be a 6-point favorite over Ole Miss. Arkansas will be just under 3-1 money line. You hedge 3 units against it. And you know how it goes.
I see what you're saying. All right.
I know I didn't want to go through all of that because I didn't, But it's 40-1 in the semifinals. You can hedge.
All right, Jimmy Ott. Game time with Jimmy Ott follows us. What you got tonight, Otter?
Oh, we got Matt Humans and Wes Reynolds from Beeson tonight. Their golf picks have been really hot. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about conference tournament action. Obviously, just some of the the tournaments that we broke down. Mike Delicano is with us every Tuesday talking all of the reaction to the NFL. The franchise tag deadline has come and gone, so we'll react to that as well.
All right, Otter, go get you a Burnside salad, man.
Burnside salad. Love it. Yes, indeed. Keep handy straight while I'm gone.
I'll do it, Otter. Have a good time in Vegas. Thanks, man.
Thank you, man.
All right, that is Jimmy Ott. Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us here in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, you can listen to Game Time with Jimmy Ott online at 1045ESPN.com or on the Game Time with Jimmy Ott Facebook page. Jimmy Ott and I both, patients of the Williamson Eye Center, Dr. Blake Williamson. If you want to live your life without contacts or glasses, there is a way to do it. The Williamson Eye Center has the solution. For me, it was LASIK. I was a great candidate for LASIK. I'm almost 3 years removed from surgery now, still seeing better than 20/20. It's amazing to wake up every day and to be able to see. Maybe LASIK isn't for you. There's tons of different refractive procedures available. Just go for that free consultation. Give yourself the gift of sight. The Williamson Eye Center can help. Turn off a Blue Bonnet onto Picardy right there on the Baton Rouge General Campus. You come up to that stop sign there, the big building on the right. They have the first 2 floors. You can't miss it. 6 locations across the greater Baton Rouge area. It's the Williamson Eye Center. WilliamsonEYE.com. WilliamsonEYE.com for the Williamson Eye Center. All right, Brain, what did you learn on the show today?
I learned that Larry Holder's willing to alter a column just to troll you a little bit.
Did he really troll me, you think? Or do you think he's honestly in on Kyle Trask to the Saints?
See, that's the thing. I can't tell if he's honestly in or if he's
in.
just doing it to get a rise out of you.
That's his hedge. He's in on it, but he's going, I'm just saying they're going to draft a quarterback. But you do remember earlier in the season, it was the Saints were going to take him in round 1.
Yeah.
Now he's saying, what if it's the 90th pick, like in the back of round 3? No. See what you're doing there. See what you're doing there. Now you've moved him to the back of round 3. I don't think Trask lasts to the back of round 3, but by the way, I like Fullerton tonight. Lay the points. Paulie, what did you learn tonight?
I learned Matt Trent can do a scene setter, not from the scene.
Talented guy.
Matt, what'd you learn?
Wall sausage. Are you freaking kidding me? I figured you all would for sure steal that one from me. Wall sausage in Belgium. Lee told us this. There's a bar in Belgium where when you drink beer, the only food in this bar is a giant log of sausage hanging on the wall. They cut the sausage straight off the wall and give it to you on a plate with mustard. I got to go to Belgium. I got to do this. Wall sausage. Get some, people. Y'all have a great night.
AFR.
You know where they don't have wall sausage, Brain?
Everywhere but Belgium.
Shawbills. They don't have wall sausage at Shawbills.
Yet.
But you know what they do have at Shawbills?
The new Belgian location.
No, they got tires at Shawbills. And you know what? When you're waiting on your tires or whatever auto service, they've got a Keurig with a variety of coffees. They have comfortable leather couches or high-top tables. They've got flat-screen TVs, free Wi-Fi. It's kind of crazy that when I go to Shawbills, sometimes I'm more productive there than when I'm home or here at the office. Not even kidding. If I have an hour, hour and a half, whatever, to wait for my vehicle, I can set up the laptop, my Surface, get the Wi-Fi on my phone. I can do a lot of work at Shawbills while I'm waiting on my vehicle. Enjoy a wonderful cup of coffee out of their Keurig. They all have all the good creamers there as well. They treat you like family. It's at Shawbills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shawbills, we keep your...
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's